as an American living in Uganda, I'm amazed at how much we share, from a sense of humor to the way that we show respect. It's very comfortable for me here, and I believe that many Americans would find the same. And of course, there's also a lot of similarities in the challenges we face. And I think that when I'm here in Uganda, I feel like people in Uganda feel isolated in their challenges, particularly regarding education, where the schools are training people to get pieces of paper and not necessarily employment. And so I would like to discuss how that happened in the first place. When we look worldwide, the children in school are separated by age. You have P1, P2, S3, S5. Everything is separated by age. And that is a colonial mechanism that they used to lower communication skills, lower leadership skills, and lower raw intelligence. And we should have a deep discussion about each of those and how the colonial schools did this. What was their intention? But I think first, we all have to come to terms with the fact that the colonial schools were never meant to make independent, powerful, and wealthy individual Ugandans, or for that matter, anywhere in the world. And here's what I think people don't understand is this modern colonial school system was designed and developed in America. It really started with the control of the Native Americans. When England took over America, there were millions of people living there, and they were largely extinguished. It was a really nasty genocide. And as a result, some people were left behind, and those people didn't assimilate or adapt to the Western culture, to the Christian culture of the Westerners. And so they built schools to train these people to join society. And that's where the real seed of the modern colonial school started. But then the systems were applied to the American people. And, some of this you can say was really dark and inappropriate and nasty behavior. But you can also say it the other way. The modern colonial school system where kids are separated by age and communication and leadership and intelligence was kind of stripped from society was what allowed America to join the Industrial Revolution with such dominance, because those aren't the skills necessary in the industrial setting. We don't need people communicating and organizing socially. We don't need people with strong leadership skills. We need people to follow instructions and do the same task day in and day out without objection. And of course, these systems worked so well in America that they, again, got applied to the rest of the world very, very rapidly. And yet, although it wasn't all poorly intentioned, the end result is that we're now stuck with a system that's outdated. It's not useful to us anymore. And if we're going to move forward, we have to understand what the old system did so that we can look into the future to something new. And so I would like to make a series of videos where we discuss in detail what could happen if we chose to be ambitious about designing a school system to promote Uganda in the world economy and in the social world. When people are educated and they speak well and they have interesting things to say and they're naturally interested and understand what's being said to them, there's an invitation from the world, and I could see churches integrating. I think America and Uganda should be best friends. I don't see why not. And in fact, I hear a lot of things coming from the Uganda government that I strongly support. I'm looking at their education initiatives, and they're saying not exactly what I'm saying, but they're setting the same goals to move individual Ugandans to highly capable people that are able to support their families without the dependency of government or NGOs or foreign aid or anything of the sort. And I think Uganda's an incredibly promising place to begin this education revolution. And I believe if it was done here and if it was done right, you would gain the attention of the world, because the world needs this as much as Uganda does. So I also have a bunch of writing that I've done, and I would be happy to share any of that. If you include any email or anything like that, or private message me, I will happily send on written content regarding how I think. Again, I'm not the foremost expert. I'm not claiming to be the person that knows everything, but I think ideas are precious and we should all share our ideas. And I certainly have strong ideas about how I think Uganda could move forward into a much more dominant economic position in the world. Thank you.